Well, over a number of years, Dennis Black stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from UB. Today, the former university vice president was sentenced for that crime, but he will not do even a minute behind bars. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin.
And I'm Kelly Dudzik. Mary Alice is off tonight. It also looks like the former VP won't serve his sentence in New York State. Investigative reporter Steve Brown is in the information center tonight with the story. Steve.
Good evening, Scott and Kelly. Black no longer lives in New York. He has a place out of state, and we'll show you that in just a minute. First, folks at home may remember Black was a very visible figure at UB before he was found out. Last September, Black pled guilty to a pair of felony charges. They are connected to stealing $320,000, which was intended to go to student food service and running the campus bookstores. Instead, Black spent the money for entertainment, travel, and charitable donations, which he used as deductions on his tax returns. Now Black has made full restitution, coughing up $350,000 to the university and the state tax department. And in court this morning for sentencing, Black apologized repeatedly.
I know I can't fully undo what I've done. I can only say that I am sorry. I apologize and ask Your Honor for the opportunity to continue to serve and work to atone for what I've done in any ways possible.
Instead of incarceration, Black was sentenced to $5,000 worth of a fine, 5 years probation, and 2,500 hours in community service. But none of that will be done here in Western New York. According to public records, Dennis R. Black lives in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, in this gated community. It is a 20-minute drive from the ocean from here. The website Zillow has this picture of Black's Mount Pleasant condo. According to the site, it was purchased in January of 2016. The price tag, $372,000. One of Black's attorneys confirms that this is where Black will go to serve out his sentence, and that includes the many hours of ordered community service that will be done there as well. In the information center, Steve Brown, Channel 2 News.
Local defense attorney Paul Cambria joins us now to discuss this. Paul, no jail time now, but had he walked into a bank and stole $300,000, the chances are he would have been serving some time. Why the disconnect?
Well, I think that's, kind of logical. In other words, if you went into a bank and stole money and so on, that would be a lot more serious offense than something like this where you embezzle the money. You'd have to go in some way, show force, force the people to give you the money, that kind of thing. Those are aggravating factors, and you can imagine that a judge would give somebody substantial time for something like that. Here, nonviolent, it's a money offense, no prior record. Probation is pretty logical.
Do you think justice has been served in this case with this sentence?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look historically at sentences, judges consider not only the prior record, but here they ordered restitution. And it'd be pretty hard to get money out of somebody who had no job. So they leave them into probation, they get a job, they can pay the money back.
Speaking of that, he got 5 years probation, 2,500 hours of community service, and a $5,000 fine. However, he's serving that in his home in a gated community. Does that sound fair?
Well, again, if restitution's involved, which it is, and it's a nonviolent crime and there's no prior record, it's not unusual to see this sentence.
All right, local defense attorney Paul Cambria. Paul, as always, we appreciate your time.
My pleasure.